You guys watching this speech? They honestly believe that you are so stupid that you will buy this ruse. Well, Kamala's not going to be any better. Well, you know what? At least she can understand the words that are coming out of somebody's mouth. Our government is lying to us now. I think for a lot of folks, let me fix this here. I think for a lot of folks, that's become evident. Our individual cabinet members, our secretaries, and our president have been lying to us. Anybody with half a brain can figure that out. And I'm not trying to insult anybody who hasn't figured it out. I'm just saying that it's pretty obvious. This remains a pitiful display of narcissistic projection, of childish denial, and of a general case of being dishonest. Now check this out. I got some word today that the Prime Minister of Great Britain tried to get in touch with Joe Biden to find out what in the heck was going on in Afghanistan when this whole thing started. It reportedly took 36 hours before our president finally got in touch with the Prime Minister of Great Britain. I will say right now, based on what I have seen this week, and I bear Joe Biden as a man, I bear him no ill will. Our president must resign. Our vice president is complicit and must resign. The Secretary of State is complicit and must resign. The Secretary of Defense is complicit and must resign. General Milley absolutely must be removed or resign. I would recommend that the rest of the JCS be removed. Anyone who was in the room and walked out of the room after the decision was made with such an obviously disastrous plan. And the reason I say it was the reason I'm putting myself in the room and saying it was a disastrous plan is due to a couple of things. One, we're now getting reports that diplomats at the embassy and the State Department had warned on multiple occasions that that a quick drawdown was not going to go well. Warned on multiple occasions that the ANA, the Afghan National Army, was going to fall apart. They were also worried about signaling the imminent collapse of the Afghan government. So that reporting is starting to come out. Don't have a whole lot of details other than just those statements. Now, this does come from news outlets. Fox News, Newsmax, Sky News out of Australia. We're not sure how many. Last number I saw was we've still got 10 to 15,000 American citizens that need to be evacuated. Now we're working hard. We've got the airport is secure. That area is secure. We've got Marines. We've got 82nd Airborne. We've got 10th Mountain, supposedly, reportedly, in there. So that's good. Problem is we've got all these people stuck outside the wire, if you will. In the meantime, you have the worst elements of humanity running rampant. And if you haven't seen the films, or the video coming out of there, it's 100% expected and yet tragic. They're assassinating anybody and everybody. Well, they're not really assassinating them. They're capturing them, and then they're hauling them off and shooting them while they're bound and tied. So that's going on. The bloodbath is beginning. So any reporting that we're getting to the contrary is demonstrably false. Now, I've heard a couple of theories put out not by conspiracy theorists, but thrown out there by folks who are having discussions on panels on news stations. I think it's evident and has been evident since before the election, that Joe Biden was not all there. Got it. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows there's a problem. As president, it's catastrophic to have somebody that doesn't at least have their faculties about them making decisions, even if you disagree with their positions. Now, some people have already started thinking about politics and said, well, Kamala's not going to be any better. Well, you know what? At least her brain functions. Well, at least she can understand the words that are coming out of somebody's mouth. I'm not saying politically, I'm not saying it's great. Perhaps Republicans can take comfort in the fact that she would be a lame duck. Our administration has zero credibility with the American people because the American people are not stupid. What they are trying to do to you right now should insult the hell out of you. They honestly believe that you are so stupid that you will buy this ruse. Now, another piece of news that was leaked out of the White House was that their strategy has been to basically ignore this thing as much as they possibly can, not respond, and they think that while the international consequences are vast, they understand that the political consequences within the United States can be managed. You know what they're counting on? They are counting on you and me to forget. They are counting on you and me to completely be stupid and not remember what has happened, to not remember how America has been absolutely disgraced. The Prime Minister of Great Britain was giving a speech in Parliament today where he stated, and I'm going to paraphrase, that we can't count on the United States anymore. And it's time for us to man up, Great Britain. Imagine that. Great Britain says that they can't count on the United States. Australian news has been tearing the administration to shreds. I don't know how their politicians are reacting to this, but I can tell you that their news is tearing the administration to shreds, stating very similar things. Australia can no longer count on the U.S. They don't have any credibility. We can't trust them anymore. Our president, his cabinet, and our military leadership have been lying to us. Maybe they've been lying to themselves, but they have been lying to us. They are complicit. They caused this disaster, and none of them should escape some sort of accountability. It is up to each of us to force them, to force our government to do the right thing. I don't ever want to see our president have to resign. I 100% disagree with President Biden on damn near everything. I disagree with Kamala Harris, the vice president, on damn near everything. But but we do not want our president to have to resign. It's an incredibly destabilizing event. It paralyzes our foreign policy for at least while the successor is in office. It paralyzes our domestic policy while the successor is in office. It's not a good deal. So I don't take it lightly when I recommend that the president, vice president, and those secretaries resign. I don't take it lightly. Here's a conclusion I've come to over the past few days. Since this crisis and this disaster started, I've come to the conclusion that while I personally wanted and still want nothing more than to retire and go home to my farm and chop wood and plow snow and make firewood and have grandkids and chickens and goats or something. But I'm starting to think that we can no longer do this. I've had conversations with my good buddy Sparky Bollinger, who is the United States Marine Corps Major, retired, great American. He's the mayor of Ridgetop, Tennessee. If you're listening from Ridgetop, Tennessee, that is a good man. He's the best you'll ever find. But I was talking to my good friend Clay Bollinger, Herbert Clayton Bollinger. I call him Sparky. That was his call sign. That's just the way I refer to him. Talking to him a little bit tonight. Veterans are contacting me from all over. Guys I served with, checking up on each other. You know, are you okay? My gosh, what's going on? You know? But everybody sees it. I thought I was the only one that was feeling, when I woke up on Monday morning, I guess it was, or Sunday morning, whenever it was this whole thing started for me, which I think was a day earlier than it started for the rest of the country. I had this feeling of impending doom, this feeling of doubt, that terrible feeling that something horrible is happening and that we have wasted the past 20 years. Now, there's a good case to be made that we wasted a lot of those years. But for those who served there, and I know many of you on here did, there's a little bit in your heart, right? But when I was talking to Sparky, we were talking about the fact that we thought that we had spent our lives being warriors of one sort or another. And we were talking about the fact that we may not get to go home now, or we may not get to relax. I think, honestly believe that that at this point, each and every one of us, whether you're an old Marine, an old soldier, old sailor, whether you're a soccer mom, whether you're a plumber or a carpenter, each of us needs to become a warrior. And the way we become a warrior is we make sure that we are educated and equipped so that we understand our beliefs, we understand why we hold them, that we can articulate them well to others. But if you talk to any elite warrior, if you talk to any SEAL, any Marine, any Ranger, they will tell you that all the training and everything that they went through was about 90% mental and only about 10, maybe 20% physical, as difficult as it was. You got to win the mental game. And so I want to call on everybody to be mentally strong, to not forget, to not just say, yeah, things are better now. Let's go to Costco. Don't forget what these people were trying to do to you and to our country. Now, some of you may not have heard this yet, so I'm going to say it, and then you can decide what you think about this statement. But as I was thinking about this unfolding, unmitigated disaster, a couple of days ago I realized who's to blame. And it's not Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or that clown who's the CGS or the Chairman Joint Chiefs. Nor is it the clown who is the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of State. I realized that if I wanted to find out who was responsible, I needed to look in the mirror. Every American bears a piece of this disaster. And every American can become part of the solution by educating themselves, by understanding their beliefs, understanding why it is they think what they think, and beginning to take our country back in very simple things like having conversations about subjects, about issues, voting, protesting, exercising your rights to go and disagree with politicians in your local town, disagree with politicians at the federal level, and engage with them via phone calls and emails. I'm going to leave you with that tonight, but I want you to think about that. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. At any rate, guys, for those of you who joined on the live, I appreciate it. For those watching via IGTV, I appreciate you joining as well. It's hard times. This is tough times. This is a historical event. Wherever you are, have a great day, have a great afternoon, have a great evening. I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hey everybody, John and Stacy from Semper.
Hey y'all.
We are a veteran-owned company.
We're family operated.
And we are making some of the finest salad dressing and marinade on the planet.
It's all natural.
We're using the finest ingredients.
Like extra virgin olive oil with no added water or sugar.
No food, science, chemistry, craziness. It's homemade salad dressing and marinade in a bottle.
And you're gonna love it.